All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Just wrapped up our Ukraine summary, Ukraine stream. We got breaking news immediately right at the end of the stream. So I wanted to make sure we cover this breaking as it happens the best way we can. So U.S. Central Command put out, U.S. CENTCOM forces have begun launching a series of powerful strikes against Iran to impose heavy costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping crewed by innocent civilians in an international waterway. The U.S. strikes are in response to Iranian attacks on 3 commercial vessels that were transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's demonstrated aggression was unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. So I don't know if I haven't had any reporting at all on Iran striking civilian vessels, but I guess we got this now. So CENTCOM has responded to what they are claiming here. See if we got more. Ocean Defender posted too. Response to recent attacks against commercial vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz. You got explosions reported. Let me see here. Explosions reported in multiple Iranian cities on the coast of the Strait of Hormuz tonight from state media. So that corroborates the post from CENTCOM. And Keshem Island and Andar Abbas and Sirik. I added my Ukrainian coverage too soon. We'll have to cover it tomorrow. It's never too soon because the war will not end tonight. So here's some Iranian sources reporting explosions in Bandar Abbas in the Hormozgan province, Iran. And again, they're highlighting the CENTCOM post. So you got a lot of places that are corroborating CENTCOM's update. And that was 2 hours ago, we had just revoked sanctions waiver that allowed Iran to resume oil export. Move severs one of the key elements of the ceasefire agreement following Iranian attacks on ships in the Strait of Hormuz. It's revoked and superseded in its entirety. So that happened just a couple hours ago, leading up to these strikes. You guys, this breaking news just happened. Just within the last 27 minutes, again, U.S. Central Command Forces have begun launching a series of powerful strikes against Iran to impose heavy costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping crewed by innocent civilians in an international waterway. The U.S. strikes are in response to Iranian attacks on 3 commercial vessels that were transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's demonstrated aggression was unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. All right. So you got Steve live with it. Let's see what else we got going on here. This was 10 hours ago. Iran reportedly attacked ships in the Strait of Hormuz. I must have missed that news. From live now, so you got Fox News sources. Barak Ravid. That's who they're using as a source on Fox News. I don't know. Not really the top journalist here. He's like a Trump absolute freaking Israel actor here. U.S. revokes Iran oil waivers after Iranian attacks in Strait of Hormuz. Trump won't rule out putting U.S. more troops in Europe. Tuesday morning, the IRGC attacked a 3rd commercial ship in the Strait of Hormuz. He writes for Axios. I struggle to just believe this at its face value. I struggle to just believe that.
Take a look at this post coming in from Barack Ravid. He is, of course, over at Axios here and has been providing a lot of information over the course of the last several months. Iran has now apparently resumed firing at ships in the Strait of Hormuz once again, appearing to violate the Memorandum of Understanding with the U.S. That includes earlier today when the British military says a tanker was struck while traveling off the coast of Oman. Now, the ship reportedly carrying natural gas from Qatar at the time. The IRGC has warned that all oil tankers moving through the strait must use the approved routes, adding that interference by U.S. forces in the strait, quote, will be met with a rapid and decisive action. Amid that threat from Iran, Iran's foreign minister is also saying that threats will no longer be accepted and could lead to the end of the Memorandum of Understanding and, of course, to the end of those negotiations altogether. The remarks come amid the days-long funeral for former Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, who was targeted and killed by the joint U.S. and Israeli strikes that launched Operation Epic Fury. While several of Khamenei's sons have attended the service, I can tell you that Mashtaba, who is the current Supreme Leader, was noticeably absent. Mashtaba has not been seen since the strike that killed his father, with speculation continuing about his condition as well as his whereabouts. Jonathan Saye with the Foundation for Defense of Democracy has been following all of this here and is joining us to help kind of break down everything, all the latest developments.
All Israel sources. I-24 is an Israel source. I hate using the Krasensteins as breaking news. Fox Business obtained audio of Iran warning ships not to. It's all, man, I do not trust right-wing media at all. Not even a little bit. Especially not when it comes to the Middle East. Oh, well, but we're back at war again. War's back on. We're back. Back like we never left, guys. The U.S. will lead negotiations to failure. Iran's supreme leader's advisor to the state broadcaster. So the oil sanctions are revoked and the bombings are back. The U.S. Navy said the full USS Boxer amphibious ready group carrying 2,200 Marines from Camp Pendleton in South California is now operating in the Middle East. Announced earlier this week, the group consists of the USS Boxer, USS Portland, USS Comstock, and joins other amphibious ready group led by the USS Tripoli, along with 2 aircraft carriers already in the region. As a 60-day U.S.-Iran negotiation period continues, they're going to be used to bomb. They're going there to wait to war. So there you go. Gas prices are going back up. You thought it was over? Perfect. Just in time while heat waves coming through too. So we have higher energy costs and gas prices too now again. Here's some pictures. Major U.S. airstrikes carried out on the Shahid Haqqani port in Iran's Bandar Abbas. It's on fire. There it is. And on the map. So you got a photo on screen and then where it is on the map. Do I have this? Nope, I gotta fix that. Yeah, we don't support forever wars in the Middle East on this channel. Just gonna be honest, I'm reporting the truth to you guys, but I will not have fucking Israel cucks and forever Middle Eastern wars, especially if you have never served, which majority of you haven't. Some of you have, but if you're gonna be in here talking about cheering on a war, you've never even done anything. The hell out of here. Okay, so we got a picture right now. That's the only thing I have for that. Continue. This is going to be developing, guys. There's more. IRGC speedboats were hit by American airstrikes in the port of Sirik. I have to pull up in Telegram. So that's coming out of their Telegram channel. Would Telegram even open? It used to work. Oh, you got video now too coming. There we go. We're in Telegram again. This is video from the strikes on the ground. Thank you for the jewels. Some more. A photo with blur. Got more here. So you got this is from the strikes in, again, it's called, so I make sure, this is in the port of Sirik, but I think a couple of these other videos are also in the Shahid Haqqani port in Iran's Bandar Abbas. So you got a series of videos. This is just videos from the strikes tonight in Iran. What does this say? I have translate on. There you go. At 33 minutes past midnight Wednesday morning, dozens of explosions were heard in the south of the country. At 50 minutes past midnight Wednesday morning, the sound of fighter jets can be heard in several cities and islands in southern Iran. Military base in Sirik, an unspecified location around Bandar Abbas, and several points of the sea surface, possibly IRGC boats or oil tankers, were targeted. Okay, that's the photo we're seeing on X. Wednesday morning, this is the Sirik Strait. A lot of these OSINT accounts are just in these Telegram channels, just reposting. Reposting what they see. So I guess we'll wait for more of that. I'm in that channel. We'll get more there. I'm glad that they posted the link to the channel. We can get it ourselves now. Thank you. That's that video we just watched. Here it is, a little larger though. I can't, the Telegram will not let me like enlarge the video. So here's that same video, but a little larger. Okay, so that's the port that was hit in Bandar Abbas in Iran. And again, if you're just joining us, I should put up the, keep up the CENTCOM tweet. There it is. So again, U.S. Central Command forces have begun launching a series of powerful strikes against Iran to impose heavy costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping crewed by innocent civilians in an international waterway. The U.S. strikes are in response to Iranian attacks on 3 commercial vessels that were transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's demonstrated aggression was unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. Okay, now we're seeing more of the clips from those strikes. This one was just posted 4 minutes ago. So we'll see how much more. There's other social media accounts reposting the channel that we're getting these videos from. Looks like Zach X is calling the police and then posting it on social media. That's just pathetic. Just pathetic. There's no other way to see what else. So I got more there. Go to my following. Get out of the For You tab. Imagine calling the police and then posting the screenshot of your phone call to the police on social media. Holy shit. Okay, I already got that. Explosion. So this is a map of the cities that were hit, so I guess I'll keep that up for now. We got the Telegram channel. We got the Central Command Post. In a matter of hours, Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara is set to meet U.S. President Donald Trump. Interesting. Syria-Turkey relations. Here made the BBC. U.S. launches strikes on Iran after tankers hit in Strait of Hormuz. So BBC is reporting it. The U.S. has launched a series of powerful strikes on Iran in response to attacks on 3 commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. What vessels? U.S. Central Command. Obviously, I read the tweet to you guys. The tankers were damaged within a 24-hour period on Monday and Tuesday, according to UK maritime trade operations. No casualties reported. Iran has not claimed responsibility for the strikes on the vessels. Earlier on Tuesday, U.S. officials said Iran would be met with consequences and called the attacks wholly unacceptable. The U.S. Treasury had also revoked a sanctions waiver that temporarily lifted oil sanctions on Iran. Qatar and Saudi Arabia have also denounced the attacks, with each saying a tanker from its country had been hit as it was transiting in or near the strait. Wow, 2 of the most corrupt countries. CENTCOM said in a statement posted on X that the U.S. strikes were in response to Iranian attacks. Iran's demonstrated aggression was unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. The U.S. official who spoke on condition of anonymity before CENTCOM's announcement insisted that U.S. negotiators would continue to work in good faith. This is all just a game. Then now this is all just horseshit. Qatar's foreign ministry spokesperson Majed Al-Ansari said it held Iran fully responsible for an apparent targeted attack on a vessel called Al-Rakyat as it transited near the strait. Qatar demanded that Iran immediately cease all practices that undermine regional security and refrain from endangering global energy supplies and resources of the countries of the region in pursuit of narrow interests. In a separate social media post, Saudi Arabia's foreign ministry said Iran had targeted the Saudi tanker Wajian as it crossed the strait. It added that the assaults were an attack on the security and safety of international navigation and the security of global energy supplies. Sounds like corporate speak. Both of those statements sound like they were AI generated. In a what should we say to make this sound legitimate? Query. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Esmail Bagay has so far only commented on Qatar's accusations, describing them as contrary to the principle of good neighborliness. In a statement posted to Telegram, he added that commercial vessels using routes not coordinated with Iran or tampering with the ship, tracking a risk of collision to disrupt Iran's efforts to facilitate safe transit in the strait. The UK MTO said a tanker traveling through the strait had reported a fire after an unknown projectile hit an engine room on Monday. An unknown projectile. Okay. Sounds like a whole lot of bullshit to justify here we are back bombing Iran again. You got more? Iran's Sahid Hangari port and Bandar Abbas ablaze. So there's another port ablaze. Another picture. See what else we get up here. We're before the New York Times. The New York Times just posted about it. So they retaliated against attacks that Iran has not even claimed responsibility for. They had Saudi Arabia and Qatar claiming their ships were hit. but their interests lie with Israel too. There's like a game that's played, but then you like look in deeper, and then you're like, oh, where do their interests lie with? You got Russian ballistic missiles hitting Kyiv again. Mr. President, we need Patriot missiles. U.S. Ukraine is not a problem for us. You just said it. I covered that already. Earlier today on the stream, a little earlier. Iran is attempting to stop Western and Gulf efforts that could weaken Iran's ability to use the Strait of Hormuz as a source of leverage in current and future disputes. Gulf states and the United States are attempting to undermine Iran's ability to use the strait as leverage by entering and exiting the strait along the Omani coast and proposing so they're going to figure out the flow of maritime traffic within the Strait of Hormuz. That's what the negotiations are. Where will the flow of maritime traffic go? So you got ports on fire, the CENTCOM tweet. I don't know if there's any other videos yet in here. Oh, you got more. Just posted just a minute ago. Other videos from Wednesday morning's attacks related to Bandar Abbas that have been posted on social media, various sources.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Whoa. Whoa.
Wow. Yeah, those are U.S. They said Iran struck a Saudi vessel and a Qatari vessel, so war's back. So you got various video clips here. This is a short clip.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
I don't. I mean, you guys can choose to or not. I'll tell you how I feel. I'm reading you what's happening though. I don't believe any of that. I don't believe a single thing that happens in the Middle East when it comes to narratives. I obviously can believe the pictures I'm seeing in the videos. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the narratives being driven. Stories being told here. I don't believe any of it. Damn sure don't believe Israel or any Zionist Israeli news sources. Not seeing anything new on it yet. Other than the videos that are coming in. Refresh OSINT technical here. U.S. official calls tonight's strikes on Iran punishment not proportional. Wow. Zachary Cohen from CNN. They're punishment strikes, guys. It won't be over for a bit. So the even if you go with the strikes on the Qatari vessel and the Saudi Arabian vessel, it sounded like they got hit with some like a drone or something. So then we destroy their fucking entire ports, and then what else? Another kid school? Why don't we throw in a middle school this time? Yeah, we haven't killed enough children yet. Jeez, dude. I wish I was wrong when I was up north doing my safety meeting stream, and I'm like, I bet the war will continue because the UFC fight and the state fair thing, that was all literally just a sideshow. And now it's back business as usual. I can view the quotes. Everyone's posting. You got Looney Laura Loomer posting. U.S. strikes targeted air defense systems. Buzzpad. This is the biggest loser on this platform. One of them. Loser. Bombs away. Jesus, dude. Bombs away. Yuck. Uh-oh, not the panicking MAGA. Panicking MAGAs. The panicins are vindicated, I guess. So you guys actually calling yourselves that? So you got Republicans, you got conservatives, you got panicins, you got MAGA. Republicans against Trump's posting about it now. Everyone's starting to post or give updates. Oh no, Ron, you should have waited. You needed to add that we're at war again. No, too soon. We're at war. Redo it. Well, the Trump administration has shelved plans to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, guys. Because, of course. Waiting for, I don't have any further videos right now, so we can go through what we have. So July 7th right here. We translate. So at 12:33 a.m. Wednesday morning, dozens of explosions were heard in the south of the country of Iran. At 12:50 a.m. Wednesday morning, the sound of fighter jets could be heard in several cities and islands in southern Iran. Military based in Sirik, an unspecified location around Bandar Abbas, and several points on the sea surface were targeted. There's Wednesday morning, the Sirik Strait. IRGC boats are burning. So more IRGC boats on fire. Wednesday morning, the sky lights up due to explosions at Bandar Abbas Air Base. Okay, there's more explosions there. Wednesday morning, smoke column seen from Bandar Abbas Air Base. Thanks, Adam. We could have used that in the last stream when we were talking about Ukraine. Thank you for being a member for 30 months. There's more from Wednesday morning from Bandar Abbas. Okay. Various video clips, and then we got even more here, another series of clips from Bandar Abbas in Iran.
Whoa.
Okay, those are the various video clips that we have for now. I don't have anything new yet from video clips. Nothing new being put out there, but we just have the CENTCOM tweet. I gotta keep that up. My bad. Right there, just under an hour ago, where they posted out that they've begun series of attacks. See if we got anything on YouTube yet. Trump isn't even speaking right now. What are they doing? Just running nonsense news. Bloomberg put a video out.
We just got some news from U.S. Central Command on Iran. Forces have begun launching, U.S. forces, a series of what CENTCOM is describing as powerful strikes against Iran to impose, quote, heavy costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping crewed by innocent civilians in an international waterway. CENTCOM goes on to say in this post on X, the U.S. strikes are in response to Iranian attacks on 3 commercial vessels that were transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's demonstrated aggression was unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. Of course, we have seen CENTCOM, Joe, respond to similar instances in which there have been Iranian attacks on vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. And once again, U.S. forces are responding, and it very much calls into question the durability of the ceasefire that the U.S. military says has been
That's
violated.
for sure. We were just talking about it with the general here. It was 60 days of a ceasefire, and it's one that has been punctuated by repeated attacks between the United States and Iran. This may be among the more concerted responses that we have seen, though, from the U.S., as opposed to simply going after one ship or one engine room. It's been very proportional so far. The United States is clearly interested in making a point. And we saw the reaction in oil prices today to that waiver being lifted, Kaylee. This could be another leg up for crude.
No solution. Just keeps going and going and going. Let's go over here. We got any other sources? U.S. launches new strikes against Iran after 3 ships were hit in Strait of Hormuz. So here's a story from Associated Press. The U.S. military launched new strikes against Iran early Wednesday, hours after 3 merchant ships were struck in the Strait of Hormuz in the latest exchange of fire to threaten the interim deal to end the fighting between the two countries. Well, it was done when they ended the waiver to end the sanctions a couple hours ago. The renewed attacks were sure to add to the difficulty of the negotiations aimed at fully reopening the strait, rolling back Tehran's disputed nuclear program and reaching a permanent end to the war launched on February 20th. They're going to say, well, Iran struck those 2 vessels and we had to do it. In a statement posted to social media, U.S. Central Command said American forces launched the strikes to impose heavy costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping crewed by innocent civilians in an international waterway. Iran's demonstrated aggression was unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. A similar spate of Iranian attacks on shipping and U.S. retaliation occurred late last month. Hours after 3 tankers were struck by projectiles, the United States revoked a license that had authorized the sale of Iranian oil as part of the interim deal to end the fighting between the U.S. and Iran. The new assaults in the fuel shipping waterway were most in a single day since late April, according to the UN International Maritime Organization. The fresh attacks threatened to choke off the flow of traffic in the strait, just as countries hope to restore normal shipping practices and ease the global economic strain of the war. A U.S. official said the license was revoked because Iran's actions in the strait were unacceptable and needed to be met with consequences. The official spoke with the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity to share insight into the reasoning behind the move. The Iranian Foreign Ministry condemned the U.S. move to revoke the license, saying in a statement that it violates the interim deal and that the U.S. government bears responsibility for the consequences of this breach of commitment. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister, Kazem Garibati, also said in the post on X that the new attacks by the U.S. are a violation of that agreement. One tanker caught fire after getting hit. So one tanker was traveling off the coast of Oman when it was hit and caught fire, the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations Center said. Iranian state television said the liquefied natural gas tanker came under attack after ignoring warnings, but it did not directly claim the assault. The other two ships sustained some damage, but no one was injured, and both continued on their way, the UK Maritime Agency had said. Tehran, which has repeatedly declared that only its approved route through the strait is safe, is suspected of attacking other ships that have used other route close to the Omani shore. Location details provided by the UK agency show that all three attacks occurred off the coast of Oman or neighboring UAE, making it likely that the ships were using the route near Oman. Wouldn't that be close to the Allied shores then? The license issued by the U.S. authorized the production, delivery, and sale of Iranian oil through August 21st. U.S. President J.D. Vance said at the time the lengthy talks with senior Iranian officials in Switzerland created a good foundation for a successful final deal. Yeah, I don't trust Qatar or Saudi Arabia. And then Israel would have no problem launching an operation to strike there, but they don't give a shit. Especially since like Saudi Arabia and Qatar are like cucked to Israel too now. Meanwhile, talks between Iran and the U.S. appeared to be on hold until after the burial of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed at the beginning of the war. Which apparently were like massive.
I'm now inside the biggest mosque in Tehran, and there are tens of thousands of people here. You can hear them shouting. They are saying, revenge, revenge, revenge. All of them shouting in one voice that the supreme leader's death must be avenged. Now, the classic Iranian cheer, death to America. This is a moment of mourning, obviously, but also a show of defiance, a show of national unity for Iran. This country obviously remains very divided. There are people who don't support this government, don't support the Islamic revolutionary system. But here, the people who are in this mosque and the millions of people who are converging on this city say that Iran has emerged victorious in this war, and this display of grief, of solidarity, is a way to show the world that Iran, even though it was attacked by the greatest military power in the world, the United States, the system is still intact, still standing, and still prepared to fight. In fact, many Iranians say that a new generation is in charge now, a new generation that is even more hardline than the previous one. I'm now...
Oh, well, there he is, July 4th, on the ground in Tehran. Body of Iran's state supreme leader arrives in... That was 2 hours ago on Reuters. Lot going on. Ken Paxton was caught in London with his mistress. Side news. Side update. I don't see anything new yet on the strikes. We have the names of the 3 tankers hit by the IRGC in the past hours. Qatari-owned LPG tanker El Rekiat, Saudi-owned oil tanker Wajan, and UAE-owned LPG tanker Al Maria. Another one hit this afternoon remained to be identified, and the unreported one hit during July 5th to the 6th night too. Okay, so those apparently are the oil tankers that were hit and some of the details. So you guys go, if you guys were wondering. And whether I believe it or not, it's the information that's coming in and the tankers that were being given or being told. Not seeing much new coming in. Put in the comments you guys are tuned in from. I'll wait for some fresh updates from this. If you guys are just tuning in just now, this comes at about a little over an hour ago now. U.S. Central Command Forces begun launching a series of powerful strikes against Iran to impose heavy costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping crewed by innocent civilians in international waterway. The U.S. strikes are in response to Iranian attacks on 3 commercial vessels that were transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's demonstrated aggression was unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. We have the... Where'd it go? These are the tankers again. Qatari-owned LPG tanker, Saudi-owned oil tanker, and a UAE-owned LPG tanker. I haven't identified the other one that's been hit. Okay, and then here's the location of the U.S. strikes in Iran, around Andar Abbas, and Sirik, and Keshem Island. What up, Memphis? We got a series of videos from Iranian sources. Okay, corroborating that. We got photos in the Sirik Strait. There's Bandar Abbas Air Base being hit. Thank you, Blonde Bombsheller, for becoming a member. Consider becoming a member of the channel, guys, to support the streams and support my IRL stuff. You guys, most of you guys like that stuff more. Just fine, but we'll do this too. Here's more from Bandar Abbas. What up, California, Memphis, West Virginia, California, Maryland, Minneapolis, New Zealand, Amsterdam, Kenosha, Wisconsin, New Jersey. Hello, 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 everyone. We're also live on Twitch, you guys. Live on Twitch and Facebook. What up? Houston, Texas, Juan, Maddie Meisner, Driftless, Wisconsin, St. Paul. What up, Michelle? Hello, everybody over on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and X. I don't know if anyone's over there. And then here's more video. I don't think we have anything new within the last 20 minutes. More from Bandar Abbas.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Okay, more video too. Okay, it looks like we have new footage too. Just looked. Where is it? It's from OSINT Technical. Footage of U.S. airstrikes hitting Bandar Abbas. It's not that Telegram channel.
خیلی وحشتناک بود. یا ابوالفضل. بندر عباس. یا ابوالفضل. دوباره جنگ شروع. خیلی وحشتناک.
Okay, so those are U.S. strikes in Iran on Bandar Abbas. You got another angle, a 13-second clip.
Whoa. Whoa.
Oh, so that's this. Okay, that's the clip from the Telegram channel. Okay, that's that same clip. Then another photo that wasn't in that Telegram channel. I haven't seen that newest video being posted yet in here, at least. Did he post where he got that video from? I don't think so. Yeah, well, we'll keep posting. Technical refreshed. That was just posted 9 minutes ago. See this here. ABC News posted now. Radio Free Europe posted. U.S. renews strikes on Iran. Vessels hitting Hormuz Strait. Iran's foreign ministry condemned the move, saying it breached memorandum of understanding. And then just some more details about the interim deal. It provided for U.S. oil, waiving U.S. oil sanctions on Iran while tying the end of wider sanctions and the release of frozen Iranian assets to Tehran's implementation of commitments such as downblending its stocks of highly enriched uranium under international supervision. Downblending. Remember when Trump said they completely annihilated Iran's nuclear stock? It's gone. We did the Midnight Hammer, or was that's what, right? It was Midnight Hammer the way they did that one, right? Yeah, that they did Operation Epic Chungus for Venezuela, or no? That I don't know. No, I don't. It doesn't. So I guess it's not gone. And then Israel will say Iran is 10 minutes away from a nuke. They're gonna nuke everyone. Here's from Al Jazeera.
We're just going to go back to that breaking news story that the U.S. military has just confirmed that it's begun launching a series of powerful strikes on southern Iran. According to this statement from the U.S. military CENTCOM, they're saying that these strikes are to impose costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, because they're also saying that this is in response to Iranian attacks on 3 commercial vessels that were transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Both Saudi Arabia and Qatar have accused Iran of attacking their vessels in the Strait of Hormuz.
No, it's like there's no ground. There would be no ground invasion of Iran. It just like they'd have to cross mountains and mountains and mountains, and it's just not gonna happen.
And what we're now hearing from the U.S. military,
it'd have to be like an airborne operation or something.
They are now releasing the statement saying that they have begun a series of attacks on southern Iran. Let's bring in Tawhid Asadi, who's live for us in Tehran. Tawhid, what more do you know about these strikes now on Iran? What are they targeting?
Well, actually, officially speaking, at least from the military officials of the country, so far we don't have any confirmation regarding that, but it's still, we've got the state TV just saying that sounds of explosion have been heard at least in 2 locations, and according to the state
Thank
TV,
you, CJ. Thank you for the gifts, you guys.
6 explosions have been heard in the island of Qeshm, and for your information, Qeshm is the largest island in the vicinity of the Strait of Hormuz, with a very geostrategic significance when it comes to Iran's control and authority over the Strait of Hormuz. Also, the state TV says that at least 7 explosions have been heard in the areas close to Sirik port. And then again, Sirik port is very important because of the very fact that it oversees the Strait of Hormuz. Again, another point, another strategic point from which
that's going to be a big deal.
Its control and authority over the Strait of Hormuz.
Thank you, Steve.
We know that starting from the time after the signing of Memorandum of Understanding, we have been witnessing limited sort of, I would say, confrontation and escalation in this highly, I would say, escalated situation at the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says from time to time they have opened, reopened, and closed the strait, but every time they're saying that the authority for the strait is for Iranians. Any transiting of ships and vessels and oil tankers through the trajectory of the strait should be coordinated with the Iranian side. And on that, today we've got this statement from Qatari side saying that an attack happened targeting LNG tanker of Qataris. Iranian side came out to respond, calling it a questionable acquisition, contrary to the principle of good neighborliness.
Tawhid, let's go over to Washington, D.C., because we've got Mike Hanna there live for us at the White House. So stand by for us, Tawhid. We'll get back to you in just a minute. Mike, what are you hearing about these U.S. strikes on Iran? There was just a statement released by CENTCOM.
That is all we have at the moment, is a statement released by U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, saying that it's carried out a series of what it calls powerful strikes against Iranian targets. It says this follows the Iranian attack on 3 vessels crewed by civilians attempting to transit the Strait of Hormuz. So very clearly, CENTCOM now launched a new operation in this ongoing series of tit-for-tat strikes, as it would appear in recent days. CENTCOM CENTCOM is giving us no further information at the moment, apart from adding that it is deeply disturbed by these ongoing attacks by Iran and what they call the ongoing transgressions of the Memorandum of Understanding, which is supposed to govern the framework for negotiations between Iran and the U.S.
Mike, we also understand that the U.S. has now revoked the previous decision regarding the sanctions on Iranian oil, basically taking back that releasing of the sanctions to allowing, which were allowing basically Iran to sell its oil, but that's now been taken back. What can you tell us?
So basically, we're back to square one. All that's happened for the past couple months is gone, or whatever. We're back in the war again. Back in it. We're back in it. I guess we can hear the rest. It's only 7 minutes.
Indeed, yes. Now, this preceded the announcement from CENTCOM on this new round of attacks. So it appears that in addition to the military action that is taking place, earlier there was this economic pressure or economic retaliation being carried out. The Department of the Treasury has announced that it has removed that waiver of sanctions on the export of Iranian oil. Now, that waiver came into effect with the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, which allowed Iran to freely export its oil. However, the Treasury says that this is conditionally based. Iran has not met the conditions, it says, and therefore it is revoking the waiver on these sanctions. Iran will no longer be able to export its oil with effect from July the 17th, when the sanctions effectively go back into effect, according to the Department of the Treasury.
Mike Hanna at the White House, stand by for us. Let's head back to Tehran. Tauhid Asadi is there for us live. Tauhid, we've heard also from the Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson. He was basically saying that these accusations from Qatar and Saudi Arabia regarding those launching those strikes on the vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, he called those accusations perplexing and inconsistent with the principles of good neighborliness. So basically, Iran is not denying that they've launched these attacks. They just think that they have a right to do it. Is that how we should interpret this?
Well, they neither deny nor confirm, but they are putting emphasis on their control and authority over the Strait of Hormuz, and that is obviously something that we heard from the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ismail Baghai, not only calling it actually a questionable accusation, but also he said that based on the Memorandum of Understanding, Iran has got this right of management over the Strait. He also called the regional countries to refrain from any action actually contrary to the provisions of the signed Memorandum of Understanding. And of course, he also put emphasis on the very statement that we are hearing from the Iranian side about the necessity and exigency of collaboration and coordination by the Iranian side and transiting through the predefined routes by the Iranians for the ships and vessels. That's something that we heard from IRGC from the time they started to, according to them, close the Strait of Hormuz. They said that any passage should be coordinated with the Iranian side. And of course, speaking of the context, we know that it's already being complicated by this recent decision by OFAC, regarding which I can say that it was not welcomed in Iran, being considered as another violation of the Memorandum of Understanding.
Tauhid Asadi, live for us in Tehran. Also, thank you to Mike Hanna, live for us at the White House, about those U.S. strikes that have just begun launching over southern Iran.
So that's Al Jazeera. Thank you guys so much for the support. Polyphase with the 2. Thank you for the second stream. Adam with the 30 months. Jason Curling with the 2 said thanks for the live. JC Blizzy, 16 months. Hope you're well. Bombsheller, thank you for becoming a member. Impact Prod Florida, thank you for becoming a member for 30 days. We got Peace Joker with the 440 jewels, the 200, the 200, the 200. Melody sent a goat. FM Flowers sent a flower. Steve sent a star. Betty Jean sent I don't know what flow state means. So jewels. Thank you for the Husky Misfit Melody. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Soma Holiday. And Tracy Anderson, thank you for the star. They got a bunch of fun chat stuff now, don't they? It's like TikTok. Like TikTok, YouTube now. Someone put a crown on me or something, and I was talking on YouTube the other day. I was like, what the heck? The president of peace. Right. U.S. military. Is this a joke? Okay. Okay, thank God. My bad. I don't even know. I was like, wait, come on. Gotta be a troll. We're gonna end all wars. Star Tribune put it out. We're ahead of the Minnesota Star Tribune. Nothing on the new strikes. This was posted 4 hours ago from Zachary Cohen, CNN. Said U.S. military targets bypassed warnings that intel on potential targets in Iran was severely out of date and approved some strikes, including the one that hit the school, killing nearly 200 children and adults based on years-old info that it was not updated before the war started. So they knew it was bad information and didn't care. Decision was made under expediency. There's the picture of the mass graves from the school, by the way. But it also directly contributed to the accidental strike on the school. The Pentagon is pressing everyone to move faster, and one source said a lot of former hedge fund people and made-for-TV personalities in the mix, but leadership at CENTCOM did not push back. Cost of war, killing a school, and like ignoring intel is not a cost of war. It's a choice, one that should be held accountable. Like though most of if Pete Hegseth needs to be on trial, like most of these I want to see military commanders in prison too. The fighter pilots, all of them need to go to jail. They all need to go to prison for this. Will they? No. I don't want to. Really? This is a paywalled article. Are you actually serious, CNN? There's no way. You're paywalling exclusive reporting at CNN now? That's crazy. There's got to be a laundered version. Find a version that's not behind a CNN subscription. Can I please? Let me get around it. God dang it. Sometimes if you just click it. There we go. We got this. Top U.S. military officers disregarded warnings in critical databases that intelligence on Iranian targets had not been updated in years. Greenlighting strikes that included one on a school that left nearly 200 dead. Yeah, prison. They need to go to prison with so you got one side of MAGA that brings kids to an island, and then you got another side that kills them. But then they pretend to care about kids. Quoting 3 people familiar with the matter, the report only if they're white. Quoting 3 people familiar with the matter, the report said that alerts flagging the need to re-verify targeting information were built into the Pentagon's target development platform, but were set aside by commanders seeking to move quickly as the conflict began. The February 28th strike on Sharjah Tabieh Elementary School in the city of Manab killed 168 children and 14 teachers. hitting a U.S. operation against adjacent Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps site. CNN reported that much of the intelligence guiding this war's opening targets, including data on the IRGC facility beside the school, dated back more than 10 years, as analysts had not managed to update every record before strikes were launched. Mobile and higher threat sites were reportedly refreshed first, leaving fixed locations like the school lower in priority and largely unverified. It was obviously old info, one source told CNN. A source also mentioned in the report noted that a separate surveillance tool had picked up on changes to the compound, but the finding never reached the main targeting database or was passed up to decision makers. The report also linked the incident to reductions in civilian harm mitigation and response staffing ordered by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, noting the unit at Central Command had shrunk from 10 members to 1 person. Yeah, they all need to go. They all need to go to be in a hole. Honestly, like, yeah, prison is not enough for Pete Hegseth and this administration. Hegseth was pledged a thorough review, while CENTCOM referred questions to the ongoing inquiry and declined further comment. Months after the attack, the Pentagon has not made its findings public. CNN said, even as President Trump continues to threaten renewed large-scale strikes, which he did. The most transparent administration. It's the most transparent administration. It's on Ground News, too. Need to get a Ground News sponsorship. No. I do need to get one, though. I should get a Ground News sponsorship, guys. I really should. People are really watching that. You guys, should we watch the Tyler Robinson trial at some point? There's a lot of people tuned in. You know what's really creepy is Charlie Kirk's Twitter account streaming this. A lot of people watching this one. And it's just the second day. Dang, it's been going for a long time. Starts at what, 8 hours ago? 9 in the morning or something. They got Tyler Robinson's trial. Man accused of killing Charlie Kirk. It is weird, isn't it? But he's really like, it's crazy how Charlie Kirk is just like an internet meme. Here, yeah, he's streaming it. Sorry. Just imagine you dedicated your whole life to building some right-wing slop project just to have your likeness after your death be used for just internet slop that will never be remembered. That's crazy. We'll have another round of ballistic missiles to talk about in Ukraine tomorrow as well. Additional U.S. strikes now being reported in the Iranian port city of Bandar Abbas. Some more. It's the same ones. What do you mean additional? Where are the additional? Where's the source? Ocean Defender, you are not a source. This is a video from a while ago now. A second wave. This is a video that's already happened. From a half hour ago. That's the same video. That's why I can only handle Middle Eastern content and shit for only so long, because there's a bunch of losers that cover this shit.
خیلی وحشتناک بود.
This is not a second wave. This is part of the wave that it's part of the queue of videos that we've seen from the attacks already that happened. Second round. Oh my God. God, guys, we're observing the situation again. Oh my God, it's back. Monitoring the situation crew has never been so back. Like every other Israel and Trump so-called ceasefire was completely and utterly fake, not even worth the paper it was written on. None of these deals are. Nothing Trump does is worth it all is crap. It's all shit. Got Tyler Robinson court date updates. I guess it is a big deal though. Chad, I think the Graham Plattner story is a great example to why you don't hold on to politicians like that. And anyone that does, it's fucking weird. Because you could be like, oh, Graham Plattner's a bad person like that. Okay, bye. Instead of like dying on a hill that you shouldn't have, anyone should have never have died on Graham Plattner's hill. If you did, it's like, bro, fuck's wrong with you? I was annoyed back in June when liberal influencers and content creators were focusing on Graham Plattner's campaign instead of like even mentioning Delaney Hall or like the protest or like Governor Mikey Sherrill, who's a Democrat, crushing the protest completely. And it felt at the time like they were just using Plattner as a crutch, but no, he's just a terrible person. So, oh well, terrible person. And I'm honestly like, I don't care. Like, U.S. politics is fucking cooked. So at the end of the day, I'm not like the Democratic Party has to win or like we're done. Like we already are done. Like I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, Graham Plattner should drop out, but like no, you should not look at any politician like they are a savior. Like do not do that, or like you're gonna get let down all the time. In various ways, too. Some better, some worse than others. But you will like always be let down if you like look at these people like they're here to save you. Or like obviously because a lot of people are very passionate because Trump's president and Trump's fascist and for sure all that, and then like you're gonna sell your soul because I don't know, because this person isn't Trump. And that could be for someone like Graham Plattner, or it could be for a centrist too. Because I don't like fucking centrists. I don't care. You could have like a person that's never committed a crime before, but like, or like has done anything like, you know, taking somebody's bodily autonomy away and committing SA on someone. But they're like, say they're like a family person, but if like when they get office and all they want to do is continue to fund Israel, like don't address the affordability crisis, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't care. Like, if you're going to be a terrible politician that way. So if you're going to, if people that are going to hold on to centrist politicians too, to the very end. And it's like, the only ones I guess that have it together politically right now are the far right, because they're just like, oh, are you an absolutely terrible person? Bet you're on our team now. Then that's how they work. And they win elections that way. It's not really working out culturally though right now. So culturally bad for them. But election time though, the right wing will like lockstep on who is the absolute fucking worst person, because it owns the libs, because it will complain about it. That's why they'll run candidates like Herschel Walker. No problem, dude. No problem. And he almost won. So U.S. politics to me is like done. Okay, but you know people still care. I'll be your tree. You can hug, like in the previous stream they were talking about the Russian trees, and like the people can go and you can go out there and hug a tree. So just embrace it. Yeah, is anyone like that was staking their entire livelihood and reputation on Graham Plattner when already there was problems with the tattoo to begin with, and his like isn't like it was one thing to have it, and then his entire explanation of it was so bad. I called that out in real time. I was still doing daily news updates. Like I think we were even covering Ukraine still or something. It was definitely last year, wasn't it? And I'm like when the Nazi tattoos thing happened, and we're like, okay, well that's bad. What's his? Is he gonna get rid of it, or what does he say? Oh, he says it was the lightning bolts or something. It was lightning bolts, and he didn't know. I'm like, bro, there's no fucking way you don't know. Nope. Is this thing gonna do? This is scary. Like, there's a high rise in New York that might collapse. I don't have much new on the situation here in Iran, though. Not many new videos or clips coming in. Nothing new on Iran here. Looking for stuff. I think we got, I don't know if there's going to be, it's likely going to be another series of attacks or something tonight. Or I don't know, or Israel's Iron Dome system will start operating tonight. That's how this goes. It'll be like usually then there will be the air raid alerts in Tel Aviv. And then you're right back in it again, like you never left. Trump versus Dems. Who is more corrupt? And look at the state of our American politics. That's why it's fucking done, dude. It's done. No, nobody can see beyond like tomorrow in this country, or like 10 minutes from now. Just got to beat Trump. Okay, what about like long term? That's gonna make sure you have and sustain voting power. Nope, nothing. We're gonna be right back in this again, guys. Sorry, but not sorry. We're gonna be right back in this era of Trump again in the future. We'll have like a Democrat for a little bit, but then they'll lose to slop. And then we'll be right back in this again. And then we'll be doing Middle Eastern coverage. I'll be like 40 years old. Who knows? Unless the MAGA turns the internet off. I'll be right back in it. This is a long term. If you are like in some, if you are mentally in some sort of resistance against Trump, and that's awesome. But if it's not like a long term mindset that you have, and you truly only have like a mindset to 2028, but man, like because you're gonna sell out, you'll settle for corporate Democrats and shit and more, and then we'll be talking about the Middle East still, with Israel. And then corporate Democrats will lead right back to MAGA. We'll be right back in it. We'll be right here, like we never left. I'll just be older. I'll just be a little older, and my knees will hurt. Hopefully I can still play softball. All right, I don't know if we have a whole lot more on... I don't know if we have a whole lot more on the series of attacks on the Strait tonight. Had that update, but I don't think we have anything more. The last 10 years have certainly aged you. The Arsenal of Freedom. There you go. Wait, remember when MAGA was crying when Zelensky came and signed artillery shells? Okay. I guess signing artillery shells is fine now. The biggest hypocrite thing I've ever seen. Hypocritical slop. You guys remember that? And Zelensky came, and well, yes, there will be an anti-war argument for that, the optics of that from people that have actually been anti-war. and I understand, and I will hear you out. But when it comes to MAGA, absolutely the fuck not. And then the other argument would be, well, Zelensky was coming to thank the U.S. production that has directly helped Ukraine in staying in the war. So he came to those production facilities in the U.S. in like Philadelphia and another one, and Governor Josh Shapiro was there with them and everything, and the president of Ukraine was there thanking the production line of how he's able to support his country against Russia. And MAGA, and again, some of the anti-war left were not happy with that. They were not too happy with that, but MAGA has no MAGA has no place to even argue anything, actually. Have you noticed that? It's like there's like two truths. It's like on the left, it's shit, and like definitely people are debating on problems, but then you got MAGA over there that are just a hypocritical fucking fascist nightmare. Only we can do it because it owns the libs. All right. All right, you guys. Well, I do have good night. Good night, Max. I hope you guys can take a break from the news. And if any of you have just started tuning in again because we got Ukraine coverage back, I appreciate you. But, you know, I think it's also good to remember that I have a gaming channel. You guys remember? Remember gaming? Remember? Well, I'm kind of, you know, we'll do the grinding streams and games that I can just kind of play in the background for background noise for you guys. But I want to get back to playthroughs so that way you guys can lock in. And fuck it, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Tonight at 7:15 p.m. Central, 77 minutes from now. So like a little over an hour from now. All right? Play High on Life 2 probably. But we're playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas tonight. Full playthrough. Okay? Do you want to so ironic? Because I don't think I've ever played through San Andreas because my parents wouldn't let me have it when I was a kid. So I played bits and pieces at my friend's house. But my parents never let me play it, obviously. So, oh shit, here we go again. Back at it with Grand Theft Auto. So guys, hope you can come on over again. This is an hour from now. It's fun. This is my gaming stuff. I'll be back with news content again tomorrow. Now, no, we'll see. Honestly, like a lot's going on with Ukraine, so we'll see what's happening. Maybe I'll do another Ukraine update while breaking news updates, obviously, just like this one. So I appreciate you, especially if you just started tuning in. You can rewind the stream and check out what you missed. But yeah, strikes have resumed. Strikes have resumed in Iran. We're back at it again. All right, just like we're gonna be back at it again tonight with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in a little over an hour. I'm thinking if you guys tune in and you like it, I'll play through the other Grand Theft Auto games. Apparently GTA 6 is coming out this year. I don't know. I still don't think it is. But appreciate you guys. Again, a little over an hour. I'm going to go eat dinner and take a break. And then we'll be back with GTA San Andreas playthrough on my gaming channel. And, of course, any breaking news that happens. We'll be back here on Mercado Media. So appreciate you guys. Again, tune in, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, guys. Join the Discord server. Link is in the description. Hope to see you guys over on my gaming channel a little later. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Земля квітуча, мова співуча, дівчата гарненькі, як і солоденькі, різні люди, добра вдача, козак співає, душа плаче. Гуляли, 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 на широкі крила стали. Гуляли, 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 козаки по полю далеко мандрували. мой мій брате, в нас є Хортиця, в нас є Карпати, пройде страшна зима, підуть брати, як спати. Гуляли, 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 на широкі крила встали. Гуляли, 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 козаки по полю далеко мандрували. А яблуніна дора виросла, була мала, а яблуніна дора виросла, була мала, а яблуніна дора виросла, була мала, а яблуніна дора виросла, виросла, ха! Гуляли, 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 на широкі крила встали. Гуляли, 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 козаки по полю далеко мандрували. Гуляли, 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 на широкі крила встали. Гуляли, 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 козаки по полю далеко мандрували. Прийдуть скоро часи ще хороші, і ми хором співать буде пісні Божі. Ти не ворог і не вернеться, не смердитиме порох, куля не полетить серце. Ворога поборемо, ворога поборемо, ворога поборемо, беремо та й робимо. Ворога поборемо, ворога поборемо, ворога поборемо, беремо та й робимо. Люлька шабалина, блискавиця, музика в дорозі знадобиться. Добре там, де вас нема, від села та й до села, від деревні до міста, від волосся неспроста. Поєднала, розгубила різнокольорова злива. Ворога поборемо, ворога поборемо, беремо та й робимо. Ворога поборемо, ворога поборемо, ворога поборемо, беремо та й робимо. Ворога поборемо, ворога поборемо, ворога поборемо, беремо та й робимо. Подивись, який чудовий світ, і різнокольоровий. Подивись, який чудовий